Hey. Okay, we're live now.
Now we cooking with fire.
Welcome to another episode of Until Next Time. I am your host, Tinika Love, along with my girl,
It's goody,
Goody Goody
goody, goody,
Goody.
goody.
Okay, so I'm so
Now,
excited to be
before
back.
we, yeah, I'm excited to be back too. But before we get all dark, how's your week?
My week was long. It felt like it was long because I had a few doctor's appointments. Um I had some baking to do. I went to spend some time with the elderly. You know, I love them so much. I baked them some treats. I like to take them over some goodies, to make them happy. And my man, he pulled or tore or whatever he did to his rotator cuff. So it has been a time taking care of him too. But I got through it.
Okay.
How was your
Oh.
week?
So I got a little promotion down to the job, down at the factory. I got a little promotion down to the factory.
Congratulations. What kind of
Yeah.
promotion you got, Cuddy? Wait.
Woohoo! The kind of promotion where they make you work for every single cent they pay you. Hard. So I've been working really, really hard.
Okay. So
And
what does this promotion entail?
well, I'm in tech sales.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in tech solar sales. So the promotion, and mind you, I entered the sales field new, like because I didn't want to take the train to the World Trade Center or the
Mm-hmm.
Freedom Tower because I didn't want to do that. I changed careers, so I'm now a salesperson, and now I'm a senior person on my team.
Okay.
And in about 6 months, I'll do it. I'll aim for a promotion. This is a promotion based on the work I've done and
Your
them wanting
performance
to
and everything.
this was performance based, but when I'm ready, which will be I think in either 3 or 6 months, I'm gonna go for the next level, just another role. But
Cool. Congratulations. Leveling up
thanks. But
is what we do.
yeah, but they, it's one of those situations. They getting all their money from me. You heard?
You said they get because they working your
They,
ass off, right?
yeah, they
They
getting all their
making you
money
work
from me.
hard for the money.
They getting every damn coin. But I work remotely. I'm home all the time. So, when it's been like 30 something degrees out,
Mm-hmm.
quiet is kept. I wanted to go outside for the first time for the day to
Okay.
get me some snacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I, it felt too cold to do it. So I
It
didn't.
was absolutely too cold. I
So
went outside and I damn near froze as soon as I got out the door.
I hear you. But so my current snack is Pops.
Pops? What kind of pops? Like the
The,
pops
cer-
that crack in your
the
mouth
cereal.
pop?
The
Oh, the
cereal.
cereal. Smack 'em
Yeah.
pops?
Smack 'em Pops.
Or sugar
Kellogg's.
pops?
Sweet crispy crunch corn pops. That's what they call corn
You know
pops.
what's so funny about cereal? When I was younger, I used to always get the cereal that nobody liked to eat
Which
because
one was that?
I grew up with none but boys. And so they used to eat my cereal all the time. So I
What
started
kind of
liking the
cereal is that? Like
cereal.
oats?
Huh?
What was you getting? Oats, cream of wheat?
Yes. I started getting shredded wheat,
I'm
raisin
okay.
bran,
But before I
corn
hear
flakes,
you,
not even frosted flakes. I put my own sugar in it.
no, let me help you out. I love shredded wheat. And the reason I have corn pops, I don't believe the corn pops were on sale because I was out there. I told you last week, I don't have to shop for the boy. I'm throwing it in the bag. I'm getting the cereal that I wanted when I was young and couldn't just get whatever cereal I wanted. Kashi cereal.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's
That's
upper echelon.
expensive, but it's supposed to be so healthy.
That's upper echelon shredded
Yeah,
wheat.
that's
I got the little shredded wheat. It's Vanilla Island crisp, like shredded
mm-hmm.
wheat. I'm excited about it. Very.
Oh, you know what kind of cereal they have now that is like so good. I know They have the French toast, the cinnamon French toast, the ones that look like little French toast. I like to eat those just to snack on. And then they have a new Frosted Flakes strawberry milk flavor. So it's supposed to change your milk strawberry. I thought it was like really gonna be strawberry cereal,
It was just
but it
pink.
just really changed the milk to make it taste like Nestle Quick or something like that. It's really good. It's good, but it's not what I expected.
We too old for this shit. we too old for this shit.
I like cereals that I could just snack on, just instead of with any kind of milk. I don't really drink regular milk. I drink almond milk or oat milk, rice milk, because I think as I got older, I get more lactose intolerant, or I get some lactate milk, which is
like
pretty
lactate
good too.
milk, and I don't drink a lot of milk. Period. Like but that's what my life is like. Working hard at eating, working hard at being childish.
Working hard at being childish, eating some cereal. I got boxes of cereal up there now because when my grandchildren come over, they want to eat cereal.
Yeah.
But then they have it all over the place.
No. Yeah, so that's been the week. But which brings us to early in the week.
It's been a heavy week.
Yeah.
With some information that came out. I mean, it was a story that I saw like briefly about 2 weeks ago, but it came back out when I guess this video surfaced.
Okay, so the thing about 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, 3 people went on vacation in Mexico. They passed away. Turns out it was carbon monoxide, and the new news coming out of Mexico was like, you need to take a carbon monoxide detector with you just to ensure, especially if you're going to be in a Airbnb, take something like that with you to ensure that you're going to be safe. So when I did start hearing murmurings, because even to take it maybe a year, 2 years back, remember when people were going to DR and dying, and it was an alcohol related deaths?
Absolutely. I remember that.
So I was like, okay, I'm hearing this bubbling up again. It sounds like it's a tourist related type of death situation.
Because when you do go on these vacations, especially to like all inclusive places, there is that opportunity to drink as much as you want. There's nobody to stop you. So
there's that. And then depending on where you go, like places like and this is by no means me vacation shaming or country shaming, but like as West Indians, like my son's half Haitian. If he goes to Haiti, we're not telling anyone he's a Haitian American, because my understanding is like they take the Haitian Americans and they're like, yeah, send us $500 or you're never gonna see.
But it's so crazy because they could detect us any way. They can detect an American anyway. Like when I've been to Guyana, and going to Guyana, you go out to the markets and things like that, and you walk in and they'll look at you and be like,
your clothes
American.
are different.
Yeah, everything just stands out about you.
Your flops is more crisp. Like you're wearing vacation. You're wearing vacation clothes.
Yes.
They chilling. You follow what I'm saying? Like you could definitely tell. Like I had a friend who died in St. Thomas. It wasn't even a robbery. They left his wallet. His wallet had money in it. He just died. Like he got killed. So to hear the bubbling and the murmuring coming out, I didn't pay it that much attention because I figured whatever it was might have been alcohol related. I kept seeing, I believe, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, I believe her sister, or there was someone else that was saying, my sister died in Mexico 2 weeks ago.
Right.
I started seeing that.
Right.
And I don't know, I don't think that is related. Is that related? Has her sister come out and said anything?
Well, it's a lot of family members and friends. It was more so like real friends that were
Wait,
coming
I
out.
think
You
we
know
should
how like we
let's
call each
cue the
other
people in
sis.
on what we're talking about.
Okay,
What,
we definitely gonna we were trying to ease into this because it's just really no easy way to do so. But her name was Shanquella Robinson. She went on vacation with 7 other supposedly friends to celebrate a friend's birthday. I mean, I believe her birthday recently passed too. So, but her intentions was to celebrate a birthday with her best friend.
or to
And
turn up. Was it supposed to be just her best friend? What? Long story
and
short.
right, and reading and doing all the reading and research and videos and posts, what I gather is the friend that she went to celebrate the birthday with have mutual friends. So she was invited to come celebrate the birthday in Mexico with her best friend. The other people that were there as well were mutual friends of the best friend, but not really history with each other.
So he was the connector.
He was the connector.
Okay.
And he came a day after they all were supposed to meet up there. So that was kind of weird.
They
to
left
me.
Friday.
Right.
He arrived Saturday. She's passed or passing as he arrives. I want to stop there for a second because I was just telling you this not too long ago. I went to Portugal for the Afro Beats Fest over the summer. And there were supposed to be 7 of us. And we all had different flights. My flight, I left with, now everyone who was going, 2 of the ladies going were my good friends.
Okay.
2 of the ladies going, one was a cousin of my good friend, and the other was someone that I'd hung out with my good friend, but she was also going because of one of my good friends. We all set out to go to Portugal because it was a 2-leg trip, Portugal and then Paris. My flight leaves New York fine. I get to Portugal. The 2 friends I had, that the reason I was going to the trip, their flight got to London, and when they got to London, British Airways said, okay, that's it.
Wow.
We're not going to Portugal until Monday. This festival was going to be done on Monday.
Wow.
And that's when we were supposed to go to the second part of the trip. So the 3 days that I was in Portugal with my good friend's cousin and a girl that I had hung out with, and she's now a good friend because we were there's so many different messed up components because I had my own room, but because I was working while we were planning the trip,
okay,
I had my friend book the room and I just sent her the money. But because she never made it to Portugal, and they literally would not let me into my room because she had purchased the room. So basically, we're all together, me and these 2 ladies that, one I didn't know at all, the other I knew from hanging out. We ended up in a room together.
Insane.
And
Insane.
we had a blast, right? But
Mhm.
the whole time that we're there, we're thinking a few things. One, damn, these African men look good out here. That was one of the thoughts.
Can't
And
go on a
another,
girls trip without men, huh?
right? But I mean, they were tall, they were African, they spoke 6 languages. It was beautiful.
Okay.
But another thought we kept having was, wow, this is working out really well for some women who do not know each other. We are very
And that's a
lucky.
blessing because it
We
could
are
have went
very lucky it turned out this way.
very different. Very different. So getting back to Shanquella, it turned out very different for her. Um as I'm reading and getting as much information as I can in regards to this story, it really disgusted me. Um because you know, if I don't need an official authority figure or someone who investigated to to tell me what possibly could have happened when it was so much of the information out that you can really I can really put a
Two and two
story
together.
together as far as what could have transpired. Um, but what I know to be true because it was confirmed by the mother is that two of the women involved, two out of the three women that were involved in the assault, because I'm going to say assault because it was just that she didn't fight back. So it was an assault. Um, sat in this woman's house after they came back and still tried to convince this mother that her child died of alcohol poisoning.
I
And
want to
them
take a
two,
step back
okay.
because she plans to go on this trip. She
Hmm.
goes on the trip. She lands, she eats, she's eating food, she calls her mom because the story is just as confusing as we're receiving the information.
Right.
Um, she's eating with, she speaks to her mom. The next time her mom hears anything about the situation, um, it's the friend who arrived and he's telling her, no, sorry. The mother says everyone called her at different phases or points throughout, I guess,
And
throughout this
everybody's
15
story
minute
was
time
different.
span. Everyone has a different story. The only thing that they try to land on is she died of alcohol poisoning. Um, so this young lady goes on a trip. They're not her friends, but she's comfortable enough with her friend, like I was comfortable with mine, to
Well, there
trust her
was a
friends.
video that did
She trusts the
surface.
friend's judge. She trusts the friend's judgment,
Hmm.
as I trust my friend's judgment. And now she's passing away, and they're telling the mother it's alcohol poisoning. And then there are murmurings about video. I did not see the video. Can you tell me what this video has going?
The video that was shown in part because from the information that's later put out is that is more to the video or it's another video. But the video that was released and was put out and was leaked by allegedly one of the females that was there, and she released it because she was scared, was one female assaulting another female, which was Shanquella, and she didn't have any clothes on, and she didn't fight back, and she was defenseless. And it was horrific to watch.
Did she not have clothes on, or was she wearing a bathing suit?
She had no clothes on.
So were they all supposed to be going skinny dipping?
Well, further looking into it, there was a video that Shanquella put on her own Instagram page of her going through the house looking for the other housemates. And she was naked because she said her words were, it doesn't take this long for bitches to take off their clothes. And
So
as
she
she's
at least had a
walking,
level of comfort with them because
right, as she's walking, she walks past a mirror. So you can see that she didn't have any clothes. So now that answers the question of why she didn't have any clothes in the video. But
I
you could see her, she walks into the room because she's looking for the other females or the other housemates around the house. She gets to a room where they're all in there and they all still have their clothes on. And so I guess the assumption would be that they all were supposed to, because her words was, why do you still have your clothes on? You know, they were like, well, we're not taking off our clothes, basically.
okay. So she felt comfortable enough with them to be, where y'all hoes at? Why y'all bitches still? It don't take this long for bitches to still be wearing their clothes.
Yeah, she called them her friends too. In the video, she did say my friends.
Okay, so bottom line, by the end of the day, that Saturday, the 29th, she's dead.
Right.
The 30th, everybody comes home. Her best friend drops her things off to her mother's house.
Right.
The body's left in Mexico. The body's found in Mexico.
Apparently the body was found. Which is kind of crazy because, you know, the best friend said that he stayed with her the whole time. So for the body
to
have
her
been
the whole time and they determined that she was dead, then the next step would be for the coroner, the medical examiner, to come take the body, and the body's not found. So basically they left her in the house, which to me kind of says there was no nurse that came to resuscitate her. You knew she wasn't breathing, you left. But this is an assumption, and all of this sounds botched together because, you know what? All of this sounds botched together because everybody's lying.
Yes, everybody.
You know, we on the head top of the people in Mexico, the authorities in Mexico. We on their head top, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as I'm talking to you now, there is no government and there is no way in a tourist community that the authorities are going to come. There's going to be a dead body. They're going to see the dead body and they're going to let the people who are there leave.
That's insane.
That goes to show you that, to me,
that they left her. Exactly.
They left her. There was no cops. There was no nurse. They made that part up. Unless her family is saying that they heard sirens, they made that part up. They got out of Dodge.
Absolutely.
I'm not believing that the authorities of Mexico said this is alcohol poison. That's just not how it works. It can't work like that.
It's almost impossible for them to say alcohol poisoning because from
you need
what I understand, the condition level of her body physically, visibly was disrupted.
Yeah, but as we speak, I'm thinking there's no way. I'm thinking they looked at the situation. They told the mother what they thought they could tell the mother. They dipped. They thought they were coming home.
Yep.
26 is young.
Let's get out of Mexico, because once we get out of the country, they can't do anything to us.
Right. That I'm about to say just that. Right. And that breaks my heart
Yes.
because I don't believe there's any way there were any authorities. No authority is letting you just leave. The only kind of authorities I imagine would do that is campus security at some university where they're not going to do
Absolutely.
anything. That's it.
Ab-
And I don't even see a campus security doing that.
Absolutely.
There's no way there's a dead body. You're not having a dead body and taking her luggage. Dead body, y'all have to stay here at least until we bag her up and get her out of here.
Including the best friend who said that he stayed with her until they
His
came
stories
and picked her up. There's no way that they would have let him take her belongings.
No way.
Which is evidence.
And this is another
Everything
part. Unless any
evidence.
of them is in tech, because young people, they don't go anywhere without a whole bunch of video. Tons of video. And you're not just deleting that and it being removed. They would literally have to damage their phones. And so that I'm disgusted because it's only through talking. I'm here telling you, I'm thinking that the authorities, Mexico did dirt, Mexico didn't do dirt.
The story was that because there was no evidence that foul play occurred, the authorities in Mexico couldn't charge them with anything.
Let's try this on for size.
Go.
What do we know of Mexican? What do we know of Mexican authorities?
Thank you. What could we say if that occurred? What do we say about the Mexican?
That's not what happened. It couldn't be what happened, and I'll tell you why. At least on TV, and Mexico, forgive me for being this way. They're not leaving Mexico without paying somebody some kind of coin. And by the time they assess the situation, the coin is not going to be valuable enough because it's about to be very hot in this tourist area now that the FBI is involved.
Right. So now I don't know how easy
Mexico
it is.
needs to have this handled before spring break because they want their coin from spring break. And parents need to know that their children are safe going down to Cabo at an expensive location. Wow.
It's a lot to unpack here.
Okay, so they come home. Best friend brings her luggage. Another part of this that's very disgusting to me is that you would want this young lady's mother to believe her daughter died by being reckless and careless and just drinking as if drinking was going out of style.
Absolutely. And how? See, this is where the young person's mind, and this is the problem with our youth today. They do not think logically.
Not even a little bit of thought.
They have no thought process at all, because I don't even understand how they felt that they can even get away with saying something like that. But for me, one of the most disturbing acts was those two females going to this woman's house and sitting and eating with her and telling her that her daughter died of alcohol poisoning. Now, there's a video of, again, we saw the one video with, I think her name was, I don't want to mispronounce her name, so I'm going to look it up now. So, Dejanay Johnson is the woman, the young lady seen in the assault. But apparently, another woman who participated was Winter Donovan, who, in her own father's words, Shanquella's own father's words, saw a video of this woman, Winter Donovan, putting her arms around Shanquella's neck and flipping her on the ground by her neck.
So when this story started picking up steam, I feel like it was Wednesday.
Yes, because that's when the video was basically released. When, Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday.
When the story started picking up steam, I was taken aback by how vloggers, on one hand, it was good because it was like, oh, we have to find out what has happened to this young lady.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, I was thinking, as the parent, my son will be 26 in a couple of weeks. And if for his birthday he went on a trip and he showed up a day late and he had nothing to do with what transpired, one, I would like to think he's mature enough and empathetic enough and has enough of a heart for his friends to say, yeah, I can't leave. I'm not leaving like this.
Right.
That's one. But two, let's say that he's only guilty of coming at the end. And now his name is out there. And his address is out there. And he lived where I live and I ain't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was a little bit careless to be doxing this group of their children. I'm 47. They are children. So I thought it was careless to dox them because we did not have, and we still don't know what happened. We still have no clue what happened. This could have been purely accidental or something that went too far, or it could have been something.
I think by the information that came out when it came out, and
the lying until we see the
lying
video
from the beginning, like none. I started looking through Shanquella's page, and she had a best friend that has been taking this really hard, and the last thing you do is expect for someone you love to go to another country
and just die,
never come back. And it's so sad and it's so unfortunate.
So people start telling the story. I felt it was heavy-handed for us to be telling these stories without having all of the information.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to take any of the blame away from people who are definitely lying.
Right.
Then, rumors, because we don't know.
We don't know. And too teeter-tottered on how we was going to approach this because, again, everything is alleged and speculated.
But as we are saying, let's be mindful not to mention children's name not to give out people address, one of these Disney dummies goes live to tell his side of the story. Because for whatever reason, even though the court of public opinion does matter, I think at this stage,
I didn't see that live though. Or is it the best friend? Because I know someone else was supposed. I know someone else was supposed to go live the other night at 8:00, but
I was hoping that the Dejanay, or what was her name?
Yeah, Dejanay.
She was supposed to go live at 8:00, and the whole time I'm thinking, if anyone loves these children,
they won't let them.
Somebody take their phones away.
Facts.
Because at this stage, everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. And especially if you're recorded.
You women lie, men lie. Videos, recordings don't.
And the problem here is, first they came home. He drops the stuff off. He goes back to the house. He's pacing up and down. Then he goes back with the two young ladies who were seen on video beating her. And when the sister says, "Hey, I heard something about a fight. Y'all was fighting?" The girls say no. Video will later tell the story. Why did they think that the video wouldn't come to light?
Because I guess maybe they had the conversation with each other. It was kind of like, it reminded me of
I know what
old movie Prom Night. Remember Prom Night? I don't know.
I remember Prom Night, but there's also I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right. So probably the agreement was we die with this, unless they prove it, we don't say anything.
Yeah, but this is it wasn't well thought out.
She was trying to clear herself.
So the young lady is the one who dropped the video.
She's going to implicate someone else.
See, now what I'm understanding is that the video was released before they understood she passed, in an effort to embarrass her. Like, yeah, she came out here, got her ass beat.
No, I don't think so. Nobody saw that part of the video until after the death certificate came out. The death certificate came November 4th. So that's when the video came out, because the death certificate doesn't have any indication that there was alcohol in this girl. Not to say that there was or wasn't, but obviously that was not, or did not play a factor in her death, because it was not on her death certificate.
This is a tragic way to go out. Dude goes live. He tells a story. It's a very romantic story, but there are a few flaws in the story as he's telling it, because his friend is dead, but he's saying things like, "I didn't even get to turn up." And he's saying things like, "I played Summer Walker and I stroked her hair." He's saying all of these very weird things. And
that occurred after she had already
and
passed.
The timeline's not matching up.
Right.
I'm gonna say this. There came a point in time, and a lot of the people who are listening are probably like this, but I'm not. I'm old. I'm 47. I still pay for my television. And because I pay for television, I watch CSI, Law and Order.
I pay for it and don't watch shit.
Y'all running around talking about you don't watch TV. You should probably watch a little more TV. Because if you at least watch a little of something, you get to a point whereby you understand timelines and ME reports and cause of death and time of death.
Yes. And
you don't just start telling off the wall lies.
Right.
But you're supposed to tell off the wall, because this cannot go without justice. She has to get justice. Her family must have justice.
Now, I have a
That
question for you,
shoot.
and this is for our audience who's listening and watching as well. And it is, what could we do to protect ourselves from something like this happening?
This is this is multi-layered, because we're mothers, right? So before we even think about protecting ourselves, we have to think about, what do we tell our children to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I am not fond of the narrative or the ideology that people started to run with. You see, that's why you shouldn't have a whole bunch of friends. And let's not get it jacked up, people. Your network is your net worth. That's not to say everyone is your best friend. But we have to start teaching our children how to know the vibe.
Facts.
We have to make sure that our children love themselves so much that they do not tolerate disrespect. And the second they see boundaries, we have to teach our children boundaries. And so that's one thing we can do. One thing we can do to protect, no, two things we can do to protect our children. Make sure they love themselves so much they will not let anyone dishonor what they deem themselves to be. That's one. Mm-hmm. Two, we have to teach them to respect boundaries. And this is the part that's painful. We have to teach them the boundaries by first respecting their boundaries. We as parents have to respect our children's boundaries, because that's how they're going to learn to set boundaries that no one else can break. And the idea behind that is, if I can't violate your boundaries, you should not let anyone else violate your boundaries.
Absolutely.
That is for our children. But for us, how do we protect ourselves? I am someone who came to friendships with people outside of my family at a late age. It's not that I didn't make friends when I was in my 20s, but I was raised from that generation of West Indians who didn't believe you needed to have friends outside of your family. So I came to the game late, but these are a few things I learned. Mm-hmm. If my friendship with someone is rooted in gossip and low vibrational shit, not that plate, not a heavy Thanksgiving plate. I'm talking about if the only thing we talk about is other people's business, the only thing we do is tear people down, none of our discussions bring light or better the world. It's just laughing at people and just being nasty with each other. If that's the tie that binds, we are not really friends, and we definitely do not belong in another country together.
Facts.
I said I was in Portugal. The reason why I was okay being with the friends of my friend is that my friend's word is so solid. She's the kind of person where she'd be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about nobody else. What you got going on? Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. Let's say that the only thing you discuss isn't gossip, but you notice that this person will hang around people and be in people's face that they don't like. Mm-hmm. That person is not the person. Absolutely. Use your discernment. Discernment is a thing. Set up five deal breakers. And the deal breakers I'm saying, it's not to say you will not be friends with this person. Instead, is to say that your friendship with this person will put them at an arm's length. Then there's the understanding and the reality that friendship circles, there are many. There's the tight circle. There are people that I tell everything to, and there are people that I only see when I'm going to the club. Absolutely. There are people I will only see at work, and we will do lunch every time that lunch is at work.
That term friend is thrown around so loosely.
Or no, maybe it's not. Friend is cool, but it's what kind of friend? I think
Acquaintance.
best friend. Best friend is something that people are longing for a connection. Maybe especially since we're post pandemic and people
Mm-hmm.
were connection was taken. People are longing for these connections. Another thing with me, like you can know someone for a few months. Like look at you and I.
Right.
But what I can stand firmly on is I know what kind of conversations we have. And our
Absolutely.
conversations is are they're never to tear people down.
Right.
And at this
Absolutely.
stage, I am now to a point in my life when I am building my tribe and my tribe is really deep. I'm able to discern who is for me and who's not for me. And because I'm a praying woman and a
Mm-hmm.
woman who has a million and one rituals,
Mm-hmm.
I don't leave my home
Mm-hmm.
without saying a prayer
Mm-hmm.
that everything I encounter, if it's for me, let it be for me. And if it's
Ab-
not, let it be very clear. And when I
Amen.
say that, the way that I pray, especially when it comes to friendships and people being around me, you can see people crawling out of their skin if their energy ain't the energy for me.
And that is the truth. If people energy is not for me, they are uncomfortable. They're the ones that display the discomfort, the uneasiness, and it's always, for some reason, it's always put off as a challenge. It's like, make me a believer. People who's uncomfortable around me want to have me make them a believer of who I am so that they could feel comfortable because they feel
They feel
less
away.
than or inferior or uneasy, whatever it is they want to
And you
call it.
know, I am a person who is spiritually gifted, but I don't believe that I'm the only one spiritually gifted. I believe that I've just raised to understand what the gift is. Everybody has the ability to pray to cover their energy and make sure that nothing that's supposed to if it ain't for me, it ain't gonna be for me. It's just that simple. If it's not for me, it's not going to be for me. And another thing in this life, and this might be my toxic trait is that I like it when people are leery when they first meet me. Not leery in that they don't like me. I like it when people have a guard up and they're not so easy to be my best friend, my best friend, my best friend. I prefer
Hmm.
friendships that I have to work a bit for because you have to work to be in close companionship with me. I'm not an easy person to be
Right.
close to. I
Absolutely.
can be a bit aloof. And it's very off-putting because I don't appear to be aloof. I appear really cool until you realize that you ain't never been alone with me,
That's true.
right? So discernment is going to go a long way, and teaching your children to be better and do better for themselves. What do you suggest?
All of what you said. One, definitely, just using the term friend loosely. Like, I noticed with the youth, Shanquella's age, because I just recently lost a few nieces.
And she's not
One
lying. It's not one or two. It's
one in
crazy.
such a tragic way, and two in the second in such an unexpected way. The consensus is that our youth is so oblivious to how they need to be in this world to really survive and thrive. It's heartbreaking. Um, they're so nonchalant about their life, their bodies, the people that they're around, the places that they are. It's about people, places, and things. And unfortunately, our young adults do not grasp the concept of how important those three aspects of your life, where you go, who you're with, and the things that you're involved in, play a role in how long you survive and how well you survive in this world.
They don't get it.
No, so to love yourself more than anyone human can love you is an absolute must. 2, let God order your steps. You have to let God in your life.
And God don't have to be my God, just some kind of higher power.
Higher power, absolutely. Almighty, your creator.
People
at the
try
end
to
of the
get
day,
all myopic. It doesn't have to be the God I serve. Find the
and it's
God you
not,
serve.
and it's not religious. No, I'm not telling you to go to church. I'm telling you to allow God
to be the church,
to live through you. And you allow yourself to give God the chance to show you what life could be if you just chose you. So the truth is, and the secret is, and God's desire for you is for you to love yourself, to love others, and to thrive together in harmony.
And that even brings up another thing that I don't want people to do, because of people are running around and they're like, because people are jealous and jealous and jealous. Jealousy is not the root cause of everything. Like sometimes it's something. If you're looking and saying jealousy is the thing, you're gonna miss what the thing really is. People are like, oh, they're jealous because she's probably the only one who had 2 parents and she's the only one who was popping, and we don't know anything about these people.
And it could be as simple as someone just going through something themselves. They were triggered. They reacted based on their emotions.
And then mob mentality.
Their so-called friends felt like they needed to show their loyalty. And it happened all just like that.
We don't know what happened.
Because the word on the social media street is basically they plotted and set her up, and that's what they lured her out there to do in the first place.
And that just doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make sense. I honestly don't feel that was the intention. I honestly don't feel that the intention was for them to kill her.
I think that it got out of hand.
It definitely got out of hand. There was definitely no control displayed, because even if there was a disagreement and anger, there still has to be some level of control where you have to think about the consequences. What could happen?
My mom always said, every
and that's
fight,
another thing I want our youth to understand. Reacting on emotions can cause you a lifetime lifetime of suffering and pain
And incarceration.
and death.
I my mom always used to say, don't go out there trying to win a fight and lose your life. And
Yes.
I think the thing I just want to leave people with in general, because this situation may have had something to do with jealousy. But everybody who's talking about the jealousy and that's why you ain't got no friends, beloved, that's not why you ain't got friends. You might need to check into your disposition a little and dig in
Mm-hmm.
to see why you ain't got friends. Let's
Right.
not hop over all of the possibilities and the reasons why. Because I think putting things on jealousy is the easy way out of self work.
Absolutely. There's a difference between you not having friends because you're choosing not to allow just anyone and everyone in your life versus people choosing not to be in your
To be
life
around
because
you.
they see something in you.
But you know, there there are a
It's
host of
about
things that
ownership
could
and
be going on.
accountability. See, we don't want to look at
Correct.
ourselves. We don't want
Right.
to check ourselves. We don't want to
Jealousy
address.
is the jealousy. Oh, because they looking at me and they like what they see. Like that's always been like that's one of my pet peeves, man. And uh I remember being younger because this is what I don't want to see replicated. Because I think even though people will disagree, I believe that although we have so far to go, I think Black women are figuring it out insofar as sisterhood. Until something like this happens, and
Mhm.
then women start saying, "That's why I don't be around these bitches like that," because you know that's why I don't be around bitches. Don't forget that there were men in this situation as well,
Absolutely.
right? Like sisterhood is a beautiful thing, but you have to discern who you're having around you. Oh, this is so heavy and
Absolutely, because I could
saddening.
tell you this.
And
Um, I know for a fact that anyone that I chose to go on vacation with would never, one, sit around and let a fight happen between me and someone else that I'm supposed to love in that manner. If we have a disagreement and an argument, that's different. But to be physically in an altercation with someone that I love or supposed to love me, the people, if I go on a group vacation, the people that I am with would never even allow that to happen.
but this put a different spin on these group vacations too, though, because it's like
It definitely does because it's about really just not just trusting and loving yourself, but really trusting in the people
trusting your judgment
that you're going
about the
with.
people that,
Absolutely.
yeah,
You're
trusting your
about the
judgment.
people, about your friends, because I'm not saying don't go on vacations. I'm saying be mindful about everything. Everything that's going you have to this is where overthinking is acceptable for me. You know, this is where overthinking is acceptable. Thinking about all the things that could be happening. And then also, we also need to be thinking about protecting ourselves because it can not only just be something tragic that happens when we're out of the country, it could be something that's unexpected as well. Because, ironic as it is, my niece that just recently passed away, she came up to New York to visit. She got here Friday. She went to sleep and never woke up, right?
You just never
But
know.
what's
Life
so
is short.
ironic about this story is the house that she went to stay, their brother in September went, was it to Mexico? I believe it was to Mexico, had a medical emergency and died.
Oh, they dealing with a lot, T.
So while it was a GoFundMe going around. So the day that she came and passed away was the day that they finally was able to receive his body a month later to bury him the next day, and she passes away in their
Is
house.
this gruesome to think that you should
You have to
plan
think
your
about,
trip, getting your body home in the event that something happens on one of
yes,
your trips?
it's about financial yes, because look at what happened. My niece, we did a GoFundMe, and thank you everyone who donated, who shared it. I appreciate you all because it helped. And within 3 days, we were able to raise enough money to get her home and have a funeral. Unfortunately, the other person had to wait a whole month before they can be laid to rest. And it was because of financial restraints. So my suggestion, and this is note to self as well, look into some type of insurance that's going to cover us for abroad. I know that a lot of credit cards, like I think American Express, offer insurance, liability, things like that. But we got to look into things that's going to protect us while we're out of the country, that will give us the ability to seek medical assistance. Because I remember going on vacations and winding up in a hospital, and using, I believe it was American Express, that was able to cover it until the insurance kicked in. So it's about making sure that you can get home. If
Making sure you can
you
actually
go out
afford the
there with other
vacation
people, if
that
you
you're
get
on.
stranded, and if you go out there and never make it home, your family isn't suffering anymore trying to figure out how to get you back. We got to think about these things whether we go abroad or not, how we can make things easier for the people we leave behind. And we got to think about how we can make things better for our travel experiences overall, because it's a scary time. It's definitely a scary time.
All right. So that's what we have for y'all.
That's
Thanks
what
for
we have
joining.
today.
It's wow. I don't know, man. Cold world, but take care of yourselves. Protect yourselves, and pray yourself up before you go out there into this cold world.
Absolutely. We're looking for you guys to, as we have these episodes, we're going to be having you guys send emails or DMs in regards to any questions that you may have that you want answered on any of our episodes. We're going to try to work on getting topics out before we record, so that way we can get questions that we can have answered during the recording live. I want to thank you all for supporting us. Our first episode, if you haven't listened to it, please definitely make sure you listen to that episode. Goodie went in, she went crazy,
Yeah,
she was very emotional. She had some shit to say, and she said it. But definitely tune in every week. What our goal is to do is talk about hard topics through truth and transparency and authenticity. Goodie.
Um, hold on. Yeah, it's a mess. If you only knew, it's a mess over here. It's a mess over here. But ultimately, for me, the thing that is most important is that we let people know where to find us.
Mm-hmm.
I can be found at Goody Gabor on IG and Facebook. You could definitely send emails to until next time pod@gmail.com. That's where you can send your questions. We will be going live on Tuesday. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the topic we want to discuss Tuesday is a me rooted topic, is me and my bad behavior while I'm out here dating. It's how much do I owe? It's how much do I owe? How much do you owe people when you're going to not further engage with them? That's friendships, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Friendships, relationships. What do I owe you? How
Right.
much do I owe you? And I want us to have that discussion, see what y'all think. So you know that now. So come on Tuesday ready to have that discussion with us.
Well, you can definitely find me on all social media platforms at Tinika Be Love. You can visit my website for your perusal, TanikaBeLove.com. You can get my book, Cooking with Love, Lost the Battle, Won the War, available at all.coms. This is a great book for the holidays that's coming up. It has that macaroni and cheese, the yams, cornbread. So definitely get that book.
Cornbread, the cornbread.
Yeah, the con. You're here to
Yeah, I heard you. The
the
cornbread.
cornbread.
I mean,
So
that's the most West
definitely.
Indian I've ever heard you.
It comes out sometimes. But I look forward to seeing you guys on our live. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, we will see you again. Take the information that you've gotten off of this episode and any other episode that we put out and apply it, because it definitely will change your life.
Lord knows. Heaven only knows. All right, y'all. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.